I know last time you were on, too, you had some thoughts about the National Football League, and you wanted to pound the table about something that might have gotten stuck in your craw. You got anything in your
let's talk
quiver
about,
right now?
All right, so we're going through some rule changes, right? Mm-hmm. And they're basically, they protect the offense, and I get it. Offense is better business. Mm-hmm. But there's some things that I think that are happening that are just unfair about what they're doing to the defense.
Like what?
Okay, starting with a quarterback, late hits out of bounds, and you've got a linebacker coming over at an angle. If you don't want to get hit just on that first step when you're in the air out of bounds, step out 2 yards quicker, sooner. The targeting across the middle. There's too many times I've seen a receiver, a D-back launch, receivers in the air, going to catch the ball, he's extended. The D-back launches into the air at his torso, but by the time the receiver's caught the ball and it falls through the air in that split second,
the strike zone.
Now he's dropped. The strike zone has changed,
yes.
But our D-back's already committed.
Now you're talking like I go nuts over this targeting rule, certainly in college, because it's so misapplied. I mean, probably about 90% of the time, and then the call's made. And then they go under the hood, and you think, okay, they'll fix this because they'll see what you're talking about.
They'll do that, or they'll wait to see what were the consequences.
Yes,
and that shouldn't be where the call should be made.
No, it seems to me that the targeting rule, when they go under the hood with these refs, they're now using it to see if helmet to helmet actually happened, or helmet to shoulder pad, or helmet to neck. And it's got to be. It doesn't have to be helmet to helmet. If you're in the neck or right near the head, they'll still call it.
Yeah.
But it should still be about intent. Did you intend to target this individual?
I'm with you on that. Intent. Yes, intent.
And they can't tell.
No, and you're just hampering, you're just hedging a lot of those defensive players in a way that they're not able to naturally play as fast, a very physical sport, which we know is football. Mm-hmm. Look, the whole concussion thing, I mean, we can keep tinkering with the technology, but I'm curious if there's somebody going to come up with a great engineering idea, meaning... let's think just radical ideas, not that these are right. What if you made the field 10 yards wider? Does that allow for more speed and there aren't as many direct hits like the Canadian Football League? I think it's longer or wider.
Both. It's both.
Do you, I've heard this is a crazy idea. My brother loves this. He's like, get rid of the face mask.
Yeah, we've talked about that on this show too, right? That you just remove the helmets and the face mask. But, then the incidental contact will rearrange some faces. That's the problem.
Sure, but there'd be a lot fewer faces going in head up, too. I don't think that's the answer, but I'm curious if there's an engineering idea that would be simpler than might really be the answer, rather than just messing with the technology here and keep hedging the rules that don't make the game that is supposed to be played as has always been played.
Because I've mentioned just get rid of targeting, and there's a lot of people that think targeting should be brought to the National Football League. And I think that if that happens and suddenly you don't apply it right, and guys are getting knocked out of halves of playoff games and whatever, and then if they advance, you don't play for the first half of the Super Bowl or something, I think people would go crazy.
Oh, you're saying targeting...
Bring that to the NFL. People thinking that bring it to the NFL, and I'm like, if I'm up for trying to warn... players get the strike zone right. I'm up for that.
Yes.
But if we are going under the hood, Matthew, and saying we're going to take a look at this videotape, and if we do see that the strike zone changed, but we're still not going to change the call, that'll drive me crazy.
Well, they're not going to change the call right now.
No,
they don't change that call.
It's certainly in college.
No.
And they can't apply it properly between the Big 12 and the Pac-12 and the Big 10.
There's not a consistency. It's like going through the X-ray machine at the airport. Every one of them's you can go through the same thing, and you're going to get through 5 of them, and you won't get through 5 more.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.